What's up, y'all? Big Herc 916. Hey, tuned in to another edition of my vlog. I want to say thank you for subscribing to the channel. I know a lot of you have hit that subscribe button and a lot of you haven't, so make sure you guys hit it, share the channel. You know I'm all about that positivity and that motivation. I also want to say happy holidays. You know, it's all about the good vibes, spending time with loved ones. I'm not really a big believer of Saint Nick. I'm not into all that stuff, man. I know the real, but nonetheless, the holiday spirit, I like to see people come together and enjoying each other's company and just being in good spirits. And I want to talk about conditioned ignorance and the lack of positive role models for our youth, for our young people, and what's the influence that's perpetuating the ignorance. See, what you're exposed to plays a major factor in how you perceive life, what you feel you're capable of accomplishing in life, how you value life, where you want to go in life. Because if you don't have exposure to certain things, you don't think it's possible. A lot of times you don't have the confidence to try to achieve these things or accomplish these things because you haven't seen it firsthand. See, a lot of people, they're not visionaries, so they have to see things firsthand in order to believe. But when you look at the imagery, the media is conditioning a lot of you out there to be baboons, straight idiots. You know, entertainment is one thing. Okay, you know, we've always had rock stars. You had, Jimi Hendrix. You had the Grateful Dead. You had James Brown, Little Richie. You know, Frank Sinatra. You always had entertainers out there. You know, but now the impact of the visual entertainment factor is just on a whole nother level. And I can go through the top 50, 100 videos on WorldStar, and what you see is, you know, it blows me away, man. I mean, you know, when you're young, you don't really put it into perspective. And if you don't have a point of reference, and you don't realize how engaging it can become. See, when you're in a different income bracket and you're living a certain lifestyle and you listen to it and it's hilarious because you know that you would never participate or be around that. So it's stimulating to a degree, but you leave it at that. You turn the radio off, you go about your life because you don't live like that. But for those who project that and who actually live like that, they perpetuate that literally because they feel that that's what they're supposed to be doing. But what they don't realize are the people who are putting on the videos aren't living like that. No, because they have achieved a certain amount of success. So what they're showing you is something that sells, but it's not necessarily how they're living. You don't have to live in an environment where, you know, you got to worry about shooting the people up the street, or you got to, you know, have guns all around you and you know, be prepared to rob this dude or do this to this guy. You know, you don't have to live like that, man. And you could actually have legitimate businesses, um, import, export, nice homes. The houses could be clean. You don't have to be, sleeping on a mattress on the floor. And you could have nice things, man. You could, elevate yourself. When you're getting money and you're able to put together decent videos and stuff, I think that's the image that should be projected, is that you went from maybe sleeping on the floor to, a private jet now and, big chains or whatever. But all that came along your path where you maybe bought property, invested, did some other things. So you can, you're teaching through music, through visuals, through sound. I mean, shit, man, when I got out, man, I was sleeping damn near on the floor. From the halfway house, man, I mean, shit, I was staying with somebody and then renting a room, and I was damn near sleeping on the floor, man, because by the end of the middle of the night, my air mattress, all the air would go out and I'd be on the floor. So I had to get up and put more air in that thing, and I couldn't even bust no cheeks on that air mattress because that thing, it couldn't sustain two people's body weight. But along that path, I've, started a couple different businesses, and I, accomplished some things, and I try to share that with you on the channel to provide inspiration. I don't like to see anybody living ignorant, man. I don't think it's cool to be, projecting an image that's not intelligent. A lot of people dumb themselves down to fit in or to make themselves seem like they're different, man. You don't have to dumb yourself down. You can smart yourself up. You don't have to live the image of what they, try to perpetuate as a baboon or a fool or idiot. You don't have to live like that, man. And I know, people say, sometimes, oh, what are you talking about, and this and that. I'm like, dude, and when I say we, I'm saying people who have been through a struggle, because it can be, poor black, poor white, poor Mexican, poor Asian, Native American, it could be poor, Italian, German, it could be poor English, If you want to do better, you have to change your narrative. You have to program yourself to do better. You have to delete all the old bullshit programs you downloaded and basically upload programs that will allow you to grow and create a new reality. And I had to do it. That's what I went through. And a lot of these self-help gurus, they talk all this mess, but they don't really break it down. And the science behind it is, your daily exposure, your daily medicine, what you absorb, what you take in as far as imagery, visual, sound, all this plays a factor. And that's why whenever you put music behind something, it makes it more powerful, more impactful. So all I'm saying is, be aware. I'm not saying you have to stop listening to whatever music. I listen to gangster rap all the time. I'm working out, pumps me up, I listen to it. But then when I, get done, I turn it off. Maybe I'll bump some Sade. Maybe I'll bump some, George Benson, Maybe I'll listen to, some Keith Sweat, or maybe even some, some Chris Brown or something, But I listen to, when I listen to gangster rap, it's just entertainment, man. I know that those guys they're not living that, man. That's because it's not healthy, and you know the karma that comes with what they're talking about is not good. So I leave it at that, just as something to give me, you know, a little bit of more of a kick in my workouts, and I keep it pushing. But yeah, man, you don't have to buy into it. You don't have to allow it to control who you are, and you know, hypnotize you into doing stupid shit. First and foremost, man, if you got a pure mind, what I mean by pure mind, purified, free of, you know, outside carcinogens, drugs, lean, weed, whatever the case may be, you'll know that this shit is a joke. And rather than be the puppet, be the puppeteer in this shit, man. Be the person calling the shots. Be the person dictating your own narrative. Don't let things around you dictate your reality, control you from the outside. Because you're in control, you're just allowing yourself to be led. This is boss game, man. I sit back and I think about this every day, about just how some people are in positions they're in and how other people are in positions they're in. And, you know, a lot of people are getting crushed at the bottom, and they're constantly being bombarded with imagery, and then they just accept that because they feel it's the norm. I mean, if you want to consider, you know, living in an apartment, you know, 8 deep, the norm, and they've conditioned you to believe that, then, man, I don't know what to tell you, man, but that's not how you have to live unless you want to. You know, if you economically want to pull yourself out of that, you got to get out and you got to get exposed to things that will become opportunistic for you and, you know, change your direction in life. But in order to do that, you got to clean up your image. You can't come in there looking like a damn fool. You can't, you know, you can't debo people. You gotta be smooth with your technique, man. And I know it's hard if you don't have a mentor to try to polish things up. You know, I used to be one of those guys, man. I'd get mad, and if a person, you know, bullshitted me too long, I'd be ready to slap the shit out of them. But you can't do that, man. You can't do that. You gotta keep your cool, and just know that changes appear to be slow, but they're always moving. And you can transition, but it might be a lonely transition because there's not a lot of people who may want to come with you on that journey. But it's all possible. It's a trip. Like I said, I look back at a lot of things I did, man. I'm like, wow, you know, I wish I would have had me a dad or, you know, some OG lacing me up. I didn't have it though. I didn't have it. I just read a lot of books and then bounced all the ideas off the wall, hoping that somehow I'd have an epiphany. So, you know, I take these things now and I share them with you so that you can get some boss game and wisen up, man, and not make stupid mistakes out there. So the buffoonery, man, don't go for it. Know that a lot of this is what they're pushing so that you'll stay complacent and you'll accept what your, you know, current environment is, but you ain't gotta accept that shit. You can get up out of that anytime. As soon as you wake up, you can get up out of that. So just know that, and you all have the potential. It's what you do with that potential at the end of the day that counts. Big Herc 916, man. Holler at me for some life coaching. You know, if you want some mentoring, go to the website, subscribe, support, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you guys sign up for the Wix for the Workout Challenge at wixfortheworkout.com. Holla.